I'm Glenn from A Life Full of Meaning. And let's see if I can get it right. Oh, no, I've done it wrong. Look, over there's Chili Jam Jeff. Down below, that's an easy one, is Saul from Barely Floating. And in the corner, no, I see that corner for me, is Dave from Narrowboat Changing Pace. And
Good evening.
We're going to have a little bit of a session and see what we've all been up to tonight. Take any questions you like in the corner. We're going to change the format slightly because I've been advised to change it. So we're going to go around each person and then we'll answer any questions that are at the side. I'm just going to click that on. So we're going to start with the other way around today. I think we're going to go Saul. What have you been up to?
Not a lot, really. I've got an overheating issue with the engine again. I checked it and I dipped my finger in, but it just went really hot all of a sudden. And then as I finished off putting water in, and to get it up to the right level, took about 3 litres of water.
3 litres?
Yeah, it really was low. I don't know what I've done. So, but my lad reckons I'm going to have to use antifreeze again. And
freeze them all year round.
Yeah, well, because I've got rid of most of the antifreeze by the looks of things. So I'm going to have to leave it with lid off while it gets hot, just to see if he says there must be an airlock somewhere in there.
Have you got on your keels on our old boat? It had bleed offs on the top of the tanks.
Yeah, I've got a bleed off on the skin tank.
Yeah,
and when I open it up, water pours out of it.
Oh right, you don't get any air because that's normally where we used to get air.
Oh, I did get a lot of air coming out of it first. I went, like,
yeah. And then it comes out. That's the air. Yeah, that's the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, when our head gasket got one on our first engine, on our on Nutshell, when the head gasket went, I put a valve on it.
Yeah.
So I put it up the top so I could just do it from the top rather than keep bending down, just to let a bit of pressure off the engine. So
yeah.
You know, Saul, when your engine got hot, with skin tank hot.
Do you know? I never even.
Because your thermostat. Actually. See, if your skin tank weren't getting warm, your thermostat might be knackered. It might not be letting water through the system. So it'll just be top of engine. It'll just be circulating out top of engine, not letting cold water get to it, and that might be just boiling water off in top of engine. And that's why you're losing water.
I'll have to have a look at that. That's something I haven't touched. That thermostat. That's the only thing I haven't touched.
You haven't touched the thermostat?
No, not on that bloody engine.
Have you not? Because you can buy different temperature ones as well, because we had that issue as well. I lowered the temperature on ours to stop it getting so hot. Because when I first did it, I took it out completely to try and take pressure off the whole engine. Yeah. And then when I did the head gasket, I put in something like a 65-degree one apparently, and then it was still the engine was still getting quite warm. It was going up to 90. I think 80 is about halfway on our boat. And so I lowered it to like a 55 or something like that. I put a Kabuto thermostat, I think it was, in it, and it lowered it, and it then used to sit absolutely perfectly right on bang on temperature and no pressure in the system anymore. So definitely have a look at that, mate. Definitely.
My weekend job coming up is engine fettling for the whole weekend. Just going to fettle it all.
Oh yeah, the whole weekend.
Fiddle with it till it breaks.
You need to get yourself one of those new engines you saw at Crick, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I need to sell a kidney or something. Jeff, do you want one?
Yeah. You can't have Jess. These are no good.
$9,000 though. I'll see you one of mine.
Yeah. So, what else have you been up to? Just enough? Not a lot then. Just.
No, well, I've been out and about. I went down to see Dave, and we had a bit of a weekend away. You know, just went on it was the Shropshire Union just before Earlston Locks. We were in hereabouts and on Shroppy. Should have took my tools though. Dave needs his pocket sliding door. fixing.
Was he?
Yeah, runner's broke.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and he's got that leak as well that we were looking at, or just
Yeah.
water in the bit in the bottom of the boat. Weird looking thing. So we were having a look at that. He's got a nice floor as well, a nice oak floor. I was a bit jealous of that one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, mine's just OSB with a bit of carpet on.
Is it? Oh, yeah. I know. I thought about putting a nice wooden floor in our new boat, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the floor, and I'm going to change it all, but I'm not sure how to go with it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So the other thing I'm doing is still rubbing down the boat, just prepping all the boat up and treating it and what have you.
Brill.
Ready for paint. I'm going to get some of that Owatrol oil conditioner for the paint.
Right. Yeah.
And the chappie reckons 2 coats and it'll be fine.
Brilliant.
So
Yeah.
we'll give that a go.
That's the guy you spoke to at Crick, isn't it?
Yeah. He. Luckily, we got a supplier right down the road from Lancaster, so we're gonna get that and we're gonna give it a good go. I'm gonna paint it outside. Actually, I haven't got the means to get it anywhere to get it out of the water at this time of year, so I'm just gonna do it as is.
Brill. See how you get on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next time how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's worth doing or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna change the name of the boat to 7, and then I can paint that on.
Yeah, you've got to do 7. Remember to do 777. We all know what hymn that is, don't we?
Yeah. You can only do 3 sevens, though. The fourth one's rubbish.
Oh, that's no good. Yeah. Well, the fourth one's rubbish. Yeah, it gets jogged. If you get jogged, it all goes horribly wrong.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So this month is I've got another busy month coming up. Started a big job at work as well, so I'm strapped for time really. I need to get on with it. I need to book it to get it out of the water as well in October time to get the blacking done.
Yeah. Oh God, you've not booked it yet.
No, I should have done really, but with one thing and another, I've forgotten all about it.
Because we just don't down here. You would never. If I wanted it done in October, I'd really struggle now to get it done in October. Because most of them are booked up, with boats. Because it's the end of the season, most people want to get it done before over the winter. So October is But
and I'm making my bed, my new cross bed as well. I'm building that up. So
brilliant.
So that's about me for this month.
That's about you. Well, we have here. I'll tell you what we've got down the side. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but Natasha Hinton said we painted ours outside. So I think a lot of people have been doing sanding and painting along there. And Ben Slater said he's in the process of sanding my roof. Of the joys that I must admit. Sanding the roofs. No. It depends how long your boat is. 30 foot is all right.
Yeah.
Get that done, knock it out quick, no problem at all. But any longer than that, it's how far do you go? You went back to the metal, didn't you, Sol?
I did on a bit of the roof, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to bother no more. I'm just going to sand off, smooth it off, paint it. My roof will need to go back because it has been said like all sorts of paint on there. There's floor paint, all sorts. Absolute mess. But the sides aren't too bad, so I reckon I'll get away with that on the sides, just coating, and maybe next year get the roof stripped off completely and redo it proper.
Yeah. So anyway, Natasha said hi as well. I've just said that's hi to her. And Sally Smith said hi from Cornwall, and obviously Ben's the chap who's doing his roof, and yet another canal adventure said hello, and falling on a bruise said hello. So hello, and Cat. Cat's all right actually. I think Cat had a bit of an accident earlier in the week, so Cat, before the weekend, because she's one of our viewers, and I hope she's feeling all right because she couldn't get on our live, I don't think, the other day. And obviously Louise said hello, gents. So we'll just check that out. Yet another canal adventure. So we've got 30 foot of boat each, so they've got 60. Yeah. So they've got to do 30 foot each of that. Yeah. No, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Should be all right
Well,
if they paint it same colour and meet in middle.
Yeah, meet in the middle. Shouldn't get a line. You shouldn't get a line. Start from one end in each and meet in the middle. That should all work out for you. So we'll skip over to Jeff then, see what he's been up to. I know he's not been very well, so I don't know how much he would have done. But he looks like he's got sun there, mate.
I look like Max Headroom. Do you remember Max Headroom? Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
you've got sun.
I've not been well. I've had kidney problems. That mystery oil leak, whatever it is under the engine, has gone. Since I've done the fuel filters, it's disappeared. Never come back. It's weird. And the water doesn't go in the back now either for some reason. It's all bone dry under there. So whatever I did, good it. So that was a bonus.
Even after rain, you don't get wet now.
Yeah, nothing at all. The only thing I have got problems is when I did the heater plugs, I dropped a 10mm spanner down the side of the engine. I thought, I'll get that with a magnet because I don't want to bend down. Now the magnet's stuck to the side of the engine bay and I ain't got enough to pull it. So I'm going to put a ratchet strap around it somehow and pull it off. So I'm getting my magnet back. But I've been out a couple of times. But yeah, it's touch wood. No problems at all now.
Did you go up to Grove Lock in it again?
Yeah, went up there, up to old Linslade.
You've got a water cooled. Have you got a water cooled stern gland?
What?
Is yours water cooled? Your stern gland?
Mine goes out. No, yeah, mine's a water cooled one. It's got a pipe with a tap on it. I asked the fitter about it because everybody keeps on about they have to keep pumping grease in theirs. And I said to him about it. He said, if you look on top of yours, there's a little bung. You can take that out, and then you might, if you're lucky, get a pea full of grease in it. He said, but if it ain't leaking, don't worry about it. So I've never worried about it. Don't touch it.
I've seen a few of those water cooled.
It's like a pipe goes in, like the bush, if you like, or the bearing, and it goes out, and it's got a tap on it, turn it on and off. I've never touched it.
Oh, really?
So if it don't leak, don't fix it. So I don't.
Yeah.
No,
I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't know what. Is everyone else got greaser on yours, but Saul?
Yeah.
You got a greaser on yours as well, Dave?
Yeah.
Does yours leak after every trip?
No, I don't. Never leak. No, it will now. I've said that.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. I'm not trying to jinx you or anything, mate. Yeah. Honestly, I just wondered because after a day's cruising, a sort of 6-8 hours, I have to turn the greaser down.
No, don't touch it.
Yeah, you don't have to do nothing.
I've had it 3 years and I've never touched it, and it's bone dry now. So even when it rains, for some reason, it don't get wet in there.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But whatever I did when I serviced it, it's cured the oil, fuel, whatever it was underneath.
Yeah.
That was a bonus.
It weren't like an oil though, was it? It was a clear.
It was like, to look at it, it looked like a little bit like hydraulic oil, diesel, coolant. And you put it in a bottle, and it looked a lot more than what it was. To be honest, it was only like not even a pint, I think, when you got it in, and it would separate. You would get a little bit of water at the bottom, but I don't know what it was. It did smell oily, diesely, but I worried.
If it was from the bottom of your your filter that collects the water and.
No, because that's on the side. The water trap's on the side. Because I thought that one of it was leaking, but the water trap is not on the engine in that bulkhead, if you like. That water trap's not in that.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been that. I don't know. Whatever I've done, I've cured it. So I ain't worried.
Sorted and you've nothing else to do really, have you? You haven't got much else to do.
No, what else? I want to take the crash cover off and paint the wood, but I ain't being able to do anything, man.
It's new crash cover though, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want to do the frame. We made the frame. I bought an old one that didn't fit, and we modified it so it did fit. Yeah, but just treat it and rub the wood down and treat it really. Yeah, that's another job, another time.
Yeah. But so apart from that, you're apart from being ill,
apart from being ill, I did go to work today on a hydraulic oil machine for him, but I feel it now.
Yeah, you're feeling.
Yeah, I just got to take it steady. It'll be all right.
Cool. All right.
Got 2 choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, mate, from me.
Yeah. We've got. I'll put this one up. Hang on a second. We'll go to the recent question. No question. It's not a question. It's just use silicon grease on the water cooled stern gland. Only takes a small amount, which is pretty much what you said, Jeff, wasn't it? Yeah. So, it only takes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what you were told to do. And have you ever put any in it?
No.
You haven't had to. No.
Don't touch it. Don't fix it. It ain't broken.
No, absolutely. I'll go with that every time. Yeah. Here we go. And then Ben is saying, what's this Ben saying? He's saying, I'm taking mine pretty much back to bare metal. Total length of the boat is 58 foot. Not sure on the roof length, but I'll be doing 3 coats of zinc primer and 2 coats of top coat with. Is that the stuff you were talking about?
Yeah, it's a paint conditioner. I think you can use it on its own, or you can put it in the paint as well as a conditioner.
Does it make it thinner and go on better?
Yeah, it's a bit like in the old days when they used to put linseed oil in paint to keep it flowing better and stop it going off as quick. Because you've got, like, especially with a 58-foot boat, you're going to have a hell of a job keeping the edge wet.
Yeah.
You know, when you're painting, you get that dry edge. Well, you don't want that. So that'll just help it flow out quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to bear that in mind. I'll have to have a look for that. I mean, obviously being 30 foot, you shouldn't be ready. Shouldn't have that issue. But what's this? This is Louise. High at Anfield Road layout in the loft lead. What's that?
Yeah, it's one of our viewers. He sort of like comments on our videos. He's a nice guy, Lee. Hi, Lee.
I didn't see anything from him, but up there I couldn't see anything. But anyway, so that's cool. We'll just put hello Lee. We'll say hello to Lee and hide that one. Is that one? Yeah, there we go. It's all right. So we'll go on to Dave then. What have you been up to, Dave, apart from putting up with Saul?
We've done a bit of boating. We had to boat last weekend. We were sort of like down to Dregsina's water tank, so we had to move and fill up with water. And then we Louise reversed back about 500 yards to some moorings, which were quite quiet. That were nice. So we had a week there, and then Sol and Debbie turned up on Friday night, decided they wanted to go boating, so we had to. What a shame we had to go boating again.
Yeah.
Did it end up at a pub? That's the main thing.
Well, no, we went to the pub before we went boating, actually. we had a quick trip out into Crewe for one reason and another, and Louisa got a nail appointment, and me and Sol and Debbie sort of like fell into this pub totally by accident.
Yeah, couldn't be helped.
It couldn't be helped. But that, it were a good weekend. Found a good place to moor up, and went to Secret Bunker. Which is, yeah.
It sounds like a good one for a pub.
No, it's like a bit of a museum, isn't it, Sol? It's like it actually were a Cold War nuclear attack place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was good. I spent a couple of hours in there.
We're at that floating market as well.
Oh yeah, floating market at Nantwich on. Well, we went through there on Saturday, and they were all closing up, so we had to wander up on Sunday morning, there was some nice stuff about, weren't there, Sol? It were interesting.
There was, and there were that nice twin pot. Was it a twin pot Russell Newbury engine?
Russell Newbury, yeah.
Yeah.
And
sounds
we even talked him into starting it up so we could listen to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It sounded gorgeous.
Oh, it did, yeah. And it was shiny and all. Yeah. But we'd seen day before, we'd seen that single pot 9 horsepower one.
Yeah.
At Water Point, he had a lovely. His engine were lovely, but I think he had the Morso controller, not like the other guy had the wheels and what have you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, he'd just been to Russell Newbury owners convention at Braunston, hadn't he? Just come up from Braunston.
Yeah, there was a big. Well, there was something going on at Braunston. I think it was a vintage boat.
Russell Newbury Owners Club.
Right.
So he polished his engine and that, so he didn't look out of place. And they were all saying, "We're not mooring near you. Yours is too shiny." But yeah, he were a lovely guy. There were some nice people, some nice unusual stuff for sale. So that made a change. Other than that, like Saul says, I broke my sliding door. I've got a plastic moulding that the door slides along and it's cracked and broke. So I've got to figure out a way of doing that. But to get in the pocket, I've got to take the cupboards down in the bedroom, the studding wall that I've built to get to it. So it's not a 5-minute job. So I were even thinking about not making it a sliding door, cutting it off, putting some hinges on and just making it a normal door. Yeah. But that's one of the ideas I've got. But the big problem that Saul mentioned earlier, where we've had an ongoing problem where we get a lot of, well, not a lot of water. We get, from time to time, we get water in bottom at boat, in Belgium boat, and it's clean water. And I don't know where it's coming from. Right. One at Windows leak, or did leak, and I cured that. But I can sort of like get from over a 2-week period, I can get anything from like 2 or 3 litres to 10 litres out at bottom at boat.
Really? 10 litres.
And it's not the water tank that's leaking. It's not the shower, it's not the washing machine, because it's clean water, so it's not a waste that's leaking. Right. But the water pump doesn't come on and off. Do you know, if you got a leak in a tap or something like that, a pipe, and it will leaking, and then your water pump will kick in once your accumulator tank had empty. It doesn't do that. So I'm at a loss. I don't know whether it's condensation. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Used to get condensation in nutshell over winter, and we'd always end up with water in the bilge over winter, but not during in the summer it would dry out and you wouldn't get any.
Yeah.
But definitely more than you'd think as well. I was really surprised how much condensation we used to get off the walls. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot worse in winter, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me. I was talking to a guy who has a boat at work. He's got a share in a narrowboat, and he says, "Do you dry when you do your washing? Do you dry your washing in the boat?" And I says, "Yeah." He says, "That might be causing it." He says, "Because you the water in your clothes evaporates, and he says, and then it'll settle. He says it'll be. He says he had it in a boat years ago.
Oh, really?
But I don't know. I don't know whether I believe that or not.
We did whenever we put if we hung. We used to hang the washing in the back cabin of Nutshell quite often, and in the winter, the bare metal top at the back with the sliding shutter and the sides, because one side didn't have any sort of coating on it, just the bare metal, and it would be dripping, like dripping with water from obviously
the little plastic dehumidifiers. Where do you get them from?
Oh, you can get them from Amazon, can't you?
Yeah, they're good little things. There's a couple of litres in them, I think. We don't have no problem like that. I don't know if it's because we got them. We don't obviously ain't got a washing machine, but them little DU.
Yeah, no, I don't know, because you don't. You are in it in the winter, but because I think if it's a constant, because you're not there all the time.
No.
I think if the heater's on constantly inside, I think it naturally, with the water on the outside, it naturally sweats. As soon as it gets down to, and obviously it depends on your installation as well. So that's got to be a big factor in it, I would presume.
So they're things.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't done a lot. I've done a few bits and pieces in engine bay. Oh yeah, we blew. We tested his new inverter to see if we could run microwave and washing machine at the same time.
Yeah.
That didn't like it and blew mega fuse.
Oh, did it?
So that were a bit of a
what did you try and washing machine, and what was it you tried to run?
Microwave.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But with Victron, you've got you have an app on your phone, and it tells you what loads on it. And as soon as we pressed go on microwave, the washing machine we're on it, we're at like 1200. And as soon as she pressed, it went woo right round into red and just stopped. Everything went off. So, but that was just mega fuse. So I've read booklet, and it suggests, because I'd only got a 200 amp mega fuse in it.
Right.
And it suggests in book to have a 400, so I bought two 400 amp mega fuses. So so the moral of that story is that a 3 kilowatt Victron inverter doesn't run a microwave and a washing machine at the same time
comfortably.
No, at all.
At all. Yeah. Well, you might have done but everything might have got a bit hot. With your 400 amp fuse, you might have got away with it, but it might have got a bit warm.
Nah, you could see it when it went over. I think it went over 4,000 watts. So it were well over.
Have you got a big microwave?
It's a combi microwave oven as well. So she were while we got a lot of solar, she says she wanted to try and use oven to do a joint.
Right.
So I think it just tipped it over edge.
Right.
You live and learn, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you only used a quick wash anyway, so you had to wait half hour.
Yeah. it took me because I didn't twig that the fuse had gone straight away. So the cupboard where I put the inverter, I had to empty the shelves, take the shelves out, take the false back out, check with meter the cables, and there were no 12 volt to it. There were nothing coming into it.
No.
I thought, oh great. So I went in engine bay, checked batteries and all terminals, they were all right. And then I thought, aha, mega fuse.
Yeah.
So clicked on one side, earthed it, 13 volts, other side nothing, so it were and yeah, it were in bits. So doing its job, protected everything. So
everything. So yeah, that's good. That's good because that's a new thing, and you want to be burning that out already.
No.
More the fact you got to get it out as well if you had to.
No, that's not coming out. That again.
No.
I'm not taking that out. Not a chance.
It's a new feature of the boat. It's staying for good. Right.
Yeah.
So is that about it, Dave?
I think so. Yeah, I've got a list of ongoing jobs and bits and pieces to do.
Yeah. There was your eating as well, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, we had a discussion about that while we were down, and I've figured out why the boiler's boiling over. It's because I've got 2 big radiators, and you put the boiler on to heat the hot water.
Yeah.
With no radiators on, fine, it runs great. Expansion tank raises about 1/2 inch, runs perfect. Crack one of radiators, run that, and immediately it goes up to top and start just about starting to overflow.
Right.
You put the other radiator on and it just goes berserk. And it's the volume of water in the system
getting hot, too much for the expansion tank.
So it's overloading the system. So Saul come up with a good idea, rather than replace the boiler, which we were looking at, to take the radiators out and put a couple of fin rads in.
Single ones, yeah.
Yeah, about 1/2 kilowatt each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Saul were doing his sums on Friday night while rest of us were getting drunk. I mean, having a chat.
Yeah. And he come up
with some big ones in the end.
Yeah.
So you just got to get some smaller rads.
Yeah. So it reduces volume of water in the system.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because they're in line, aren't they? So there'll be virtually, well, you'll have virtually no water in there, really, will you? Just in pipe.
Just what's in pipe.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's one option that we're looking at. We haven't made a decision on that, but the capacity of the other boiler that I was looking at is actually lower than the boiler that I've got, so that ain't going to run the radiators. So
no, that's no good. That's no good. So that's all right.
Other than that, I think having Saul there and a fresh set of eyes on things, you just go, oh well, what about this? Do you know what I mean? I've been looking at it for months, years, and not coming up with the answer.
Just not using the rads.
And straight away, Saul says, "Well, what about one of these?" And I never even thought about going down that route.
No, funny, isn't it? I just wouldn't think. I mean, obviously, that the header tank would get fuller. I mean, I think our boat, we took a couple of rad. Well, did we take 2 rads out? I think it was 1 rad out, but we changed the rad in the bathroom for a towel rail. But ours didn't used to increase. But you're a boy, as in when you say boiler, are you talking about? Because ours used to heat the same through our either engine or Webasto or out of the hot water tank basically. But you got a combi boiler? Is that what yours is?
It's a sealed flow gas boiler, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's a sealed system. So there's nowhere else because before Saul turned up, I was or did I mention it to you, Sol, about putting another expansion tank on to increase volume? But it's all encased in casing and that. And I looked at what Jeff had said about putting a bypass in, but it's the where it is, and it's so enclosed, you just can't get to anything to do that.
Overflow off it.
It's
got a spout with a hose coming off, so when it expands too much, it goes out.
Yeah, but all it does is
can't you put that hose into another tank, and then when it goes down, it should draw it back out again.
Yeah, but it's that much. It doesn't. It's like, you know, when your engine boils over. It's like that. It just creates too. I think there's too much water in the system, and it just boils over and blows through the screw-on lid on top of expansion tank. It's weird. It's weird.
Well,
it's got thumping big radiators, massive radiators as well. They're not little.
They're like double skinned.
No, they're single. Well, I don't know if they're not double skinned, are they?
No, they're not double skinned.
Big ones. They're not
just big. Just big.
What do you mean you'll be able to afford them little thin ones?
Yeah.
Louise likes to be warm. She didn't want a little radiator. Big radiator. They're nice radiators.
They are lovely.
Yeah.
Stainless steel, but
causing you too much grief.
Yeah.
So,
even when we had original boiler, it never run right. We've always had problems with it.
Really.
And obviously it's because I didn't do my sums right I didn't do my sums right, and I put the wrong radiators in.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when you change them, that will resolve that issue, and it'll all be good.
Hopefully.
And then
you can keep adding on, because it's not going to make any difference to the volume of water, really.
Yeah.
So you can have them lined up all the way along.
Yeah.
Stack them up.
Stack them up. So yeah. So is that about it for you then, Dave?
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah. That's cool. We'll go over to some questions. There's a couple come in. Kev C said, have you seen that one?
Good evening, salad dodgers.
Good evening, salad dodgers. I don't know what he means.
No, I don't. Fine figure of a man.
Temple.
It's just the angle of the camera. There you go.
Yeah.
It's no good having a 6-inch man knocking in with a toffee hammer, is it?
Yeah. So and then Ben's got a question. So this is a lot of solar. So he's got 1,125 watts of solar panels fitted to his boat. Can anyone recommend the size of MPPT control he needed? Well, funny you should say that, because it's all down to it depends which way you fit it. If you do them in parallel, because most of the MPPT controllers, it's done on voltage, isn't it? How much voltage they can handle. Now, I haven't got one in mind, but what I did was when I put an extra panel on our old boat, it tipped over the voltage on the master volt MPPT controller that I had, and I had to then put them in parallel. So you basically don't end up. So if you've got 650 watt panels, all that goes into your controller is 150 watts and 30 volts. If that's what say they give out 30 volts each, you'll only get 30 volts. But what you'll get is a really strong signal. So you'll get a real solid, top you can get in that range. But serial's meant to be better, but it does mean you have to buy a much bigger controller to do it, because it's got to be able to take, again, if you've got, I don't know how many panels, you might have 6 panels kicking out 40 volts each, which will be 4 6s. 2 6s is what, 240 volts, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that solar panel is can take that sort of voltage and manage it and the watts. So it would be a big one. I know. I only know because I did it at the Master Volt one we bought. It was a really nice controller, but I know it could only take something like 79 volts, and obviously it depends how many amps amps you're putting through it as well. So
there's a bolters group on Facebook. I think it's a 12-volt bolters group or something, and they are pretty. They've got some pretty good advice on that, on stuff like that.
Yeah, I do know somebody, to be honest with you, who's a boat electrician, and he is really hot on that. He's like he'd be able to give you the figure. He'd be able to give you the figure. So if you want me to ask him, Ben, I don't mind asking him. I'll drop him a message. As soon as I give him that figure, he'd tell me straight away what controller you'd need. But trust me, Ben, it'll be a dear one because he don't fit anything that's not branded. It'll be Victron, or it'll be Master Volt, or it'll be one of the top sort of makes. He don't use anything else. So I'm more than happy to ask. This is a good question, and I don't know the answer to it. You ready? Can anyone name a 5-minute job on a boat that actually takes 5 minutes? You?
I can.
Put the kettle on.
Once a week I go around and I tighten up all the brass knobs on all my drawers.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but they just undo themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if there is a 5-minute job, there ain't many of them.
There ain't many of them. And they're not.
Well, the missus says every job's 5 minutes, but checking she's not here.
She's not here. Yeah. Well, here we go. Look, here we go. Answer to Ben. Cruising the Cut added panels and had 2 MPPT joint in one of his vlogs. I didn't know that.
He did, yeah. Did
he? Well, he put 2 in.
Yeah, he put 2 MPP and he linked them together somehow. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he did link them together.
Yeah, someone said it might be worth looking at his vlogs. Yeah, because he was pretty good with all of his technical stuff. He researched it a lot whenever he did anything, didn't he? So what's this one? Let's have a look. Dale. Ben hasn't mentioned.
Tell you, Dale.
Don't start.
Retired, yeah. He didn't say that earlier on. He said hello up here, but he didn't say that he was retired or mention Jeff in any way at all. So I thought he was gonna have to retire the other day, Dale. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think he was fit to work anyway.
Stop.
Yeah. And then what else we got here? It's a 12-volt system, and yes, please, if you wouldn't mind asking. Ben said, "Yeah, I'll drop him a message. He's a pretty good bloke." I say it might be worth watching, Ben, if you get a chance, watching that.
Cruising the Cut.
Cruising the Cut episode. If you, he's got quite a few, hasn't he? So, and everyone was saying a bit further up here that about they're using rust treatment on the prior to painting. I saw that quite a lot. And I think that Dale's on the River Nene, isn't he?
Why is that?
Apparently so.
Yeah, I saw that there. That Dale's on the River Nene. My neck of the woods. He can't be far away unless he's gone right through to Peterborough.
I think he said he was stuck or something, and he might miss work on Monday. But
did he?
Carry on, money borrowed.
So,
that's one off the chili jam list.
Yeah,
no more chili jam.
How did you get on with it anyway?
We're having it tomorrow for our breakfast.
You had it?
I'm having it tomorrow. I'll send you the video.
Good man.
Yeah.
We
prefer it on bacon sarnies. We've tried it on a roast. We've tried it on burgers.
Cheese.
And we absolutely love it on bacon sarnies. It's spot on.
If you're a cheese and cracker man, that's the way to eat it as well.
Yeah, cheese and crackers is good.
Cheese and crackers with pork.
Yeah, with pork.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not a pork drinker at all. But you get your cheese, Jacob's cream cracker, put your chili jam on top, you chew it, put it in your mouth. Just before you swallow it, you take a mouthful of pork at the same time. It's it's a game changer.
Didn't I? Did educate you on that one?
Yeah, Jeff, that was Jeff, and we pretty much got through a bottle of port that day.
You can't wait until you're just about to swallow the cheese and biscuit and then take a sip.
Yeah. Amazing taste. That's all I'm saying. Try it. So anyway, I'll get round to what we've been up to. Obviously, I spent a week on the boat, so I ended up doing jobs because obviously Mrs. W had COVID, and I was evicted to the boat for a week. I did a few jobs. There's a couple of things I wanted to ask about, because I'm not 100% sure. And I did speak to Jeff about this, but I wondered if there was any other way of doing it. The boat's coming out of the water this Saturday. And the water line, we talked about it, about doing needle gunning. Now, I haven't got a needle gun. I've got a compressor. But I did wonder, could I not use a wire brush on an angle grinder or something?
It won't be as good.
It won't clog up a bit, though.
You want a needle gun?
It will clog. It'll clog up like mad.
The needle gun's the way.
Where you're blacking.
Yeah.
Where you bitumen blacking, it'll just clog it up.
Really? What, the stuff that's on it already? I'm going to pressure wash it first, but right on one side, the water line on one side is quite rusty. So I wanted to clear that right off and then treat it before I put the bitumen on.
If it's down, if there's no bitumen on it and it's down to metal, then yeah, wire brush it. But if there's any bitumen on it, when you're using wire brush, it'll clog up, and then when you go over metal, it'll clog up, and then when you go onto metal, it'll spread the bitumen onto the metal.
Yeah. Does it like melt? Does it take it back
to
point form?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible stuff. When we black tires, I used an angle grinder, 4.5 inch angle grinder, and I bought a load from Screwfix or Tool Station, 4.5 inch flat wheels.
Yeah.
And just tried to avoid the bitumen and just used edger it to sand rust spots down. Yeah. As soon as you touch bitumen, just clogs them up and they're useless.
So the needle gun don't eat it up; it just cracks it off and gets rid of it.
Yeah. You can hire them, I think.
I've got a compressor. I've just got to get. It's just the gun itself. They're not dear. You can buy one for about 25 quid.
Yeah, they're not dear.
Yeah, the Tool Station, you can pick one up for about 25 quid. I think 30 quid. So I might just have a go with that and see, because the water line's definitely going to need doing. I just want to get it down to its best possible option, really. And the other tip I was given the other day by a chap, he said, when you do it, he said, get a bucket of hot water and put the bitumen in the bucket.
Warm it up.
Leave it in the bucket while you do it. Keeps it thin. Keeps it
pliable.
Much better.
Pliable.
Yeah, keeps the stuff warm. That's why it's not good to do it in the winter, is it? Because it goes cold and starts.
Yeah.
My dad used to do that when he were painting old cars.
Yeah.
He always have a saucepan of water with a tin of paint in it.
Yeah.
And then your brush strokes come out as well.
Yeah. So that's he said about doing that, because that's what they do there. So my plan is out the water Saturday, cleaning all the sides, pressure washing it, obviously, cleaning all the sides down, treating any rust, and Sunday doing the top half bits above the rubbing strip and the back red and white panels and around the top and all that sort of thing. Checking out the propeller because I've got a spare one in the boat. I want to see if it's a match.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's what? No, I just want to see because it's in the boat already, so I don't know whether they bought it to put it on or not. So
make problems for yourself.
We'll see. We'll see.
He's going to do it.
The thing is, where we are, it's going to cost me 50 quid to drag it back out again and put the other prop back on if I need to. So,
he's doing it.
What I would do, Glenn, while you've got it out of water, and it's what I wished I'd have done when we had ours out, is, your stern gland.
Yep.
Take that off and put some new graphite rope in. Repack it with new graphite rope.
Okay, I'll get some of that. Yeah. The good thing about where we're moored now is we, as I say, it's 50 quid out for the week, and that includes everything. And they actually sell bitumen there, so they've bought a pallet of it, or whatever they've got, and it's 20 quid a pot. And he reckons I'll do it with one pot. He said 30-foot boat. He said you'll give it 2 coats, and you'll be able to do whatever's left again on the waterline. So the whole deal. The whole deal.
You're not be far off.
Yeah. I've asked. I'm having 2 just in case. But he said if you don't use one of them, he said I'll just put it back in stock. So, and I've checked out my anodes. I've actually got 2 anodes at the front, and they don't look too bad from the water. I mean, it'd be interesting to see once it's out to see what they look like. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna. You can't tell till it's out of the water. But anyway, then on Monday it's being surveyed. So AM Monday morning it's being surveyed. I'm gonna black it anyway. If he finds stuff that needs doing, I'm gonna drag it out at the end of the year. And any welding that needs doing, I'm going to get it done then, because I don't think there is somebody on our marina that specialises in welding, but the chances of getting him out that week to do it in the week that I've got are probably remote. I'll be able to book him later in the year, and as I said, it'll be 50 quid to get it back out of the water again. So it's a nothing cost, if you know what I mean. It's if I was dry docking it or craning it, it would be 300 or 400 quid, wouldn't it? So
with one of them bungee ropes on the front, so it just goes in and out on its own.
Yeah. I thought about it. I've put a Land Rover, something a Land Rover like a tow thing, couldn't I, out the front, and just do it myself? Wouldn't have to rely on that. Just put the 2 little track things they've got and just drag it out. But anyway, yeah. So that's what's coming up the weekend. I did. During the week while I was there, I managed to fix the oven. That works. That was we were going to ditch it because I couldn't get the oven to light. But the actual shield's missing. But I'll get another one of those. But do you know what it was wrong with it?
Sure.
Big red button on the front of it. It says, I think it says
light
DTI or something on it. Press that in. Don't light it, but it obviously opens the valve up to light it. Because when I pressed it, it lit up straight away, and it actually was absolutely fine. The grill works. I've cleaned the top of the oven as well. Got all the rings and done them all. They were on last week's video, I think. I've also that was the other thing. Our inverter. I found out something very interesting about our inverter too. So our inverter is a UPS. I've never seen one like it before. It's actually, but I can't see how it works because I think the batteries are knackered in it anyway. So our inverter has got batteries in it, and it's got a kettle lead like you would have like we used to have in our office. We used to have backing up computers. We'd have a UPS which would give us 10 minutes or 15 minutes to shut the computer down. At the end of our inverter's probably that long. It's long. I've not took it out yet, but in the end, it's got a kettle lead that's not plugged in, which would normally would charge it. That's the odd thing about it. And then it's got 2 sockets, and it's got a gauge, an LED gauge, and then the other end it connects to the batteries. So it's a 2000 watt UPS, and I thought I'll try it. So I disconnected the batteries off of it. I put a shoreline in it to see what would happen with the kettle lead. A green light came on. I left it charging for an hour or so, took it out, and it ran for about, with no leads on it plugged into the power, it ran for about 5 seconds. I presume that the lead acid batteries that are in it are knackered because they've gone flat. But that's what it's got. But the weird thing is, because I've never seen one with a 12-volt input. No, I've never seen one. It's not a brand. It's not. I don't think it's an expensive thing, from what I can see. But anyway, my mate said I need to take it out, take the top off, and you'll see. He said normally they have UASA batteries in it. There'll be 2 or 3 UASA batteries in it, and it will give you, like, if you replace them. But I can't see how it charges without the lead being in it. You see what I mean? I can't see how it will charge itself without the 240 going into it. I've never seen one like it in a boat before. I've seen them in motorhomes, something similar. We had one in our motorhome, very similar. But I thought, because I was going to take it out, because I thought it's massive, it's a monster, great big thing under the bed, and but when it's running, it takes hardly any power out of the batteries. It don't take. You know, I watched TV when I was down there. I kept it plugged in for 3 or 4 hours, and it dropped the battery by 0.1 of a volt. It was like, went from 12.6 to 12.5 when I turned the telly off. It was nothing. I mean, I don't suppose the TV took a lot of draw, but
no, but still
to run the thing, it's got twin fans in it at the other end. There's 2 fans, 2 cooling fans. So
you reckon it's got 2 6-volt batteries in it?
No, it'd be 2 12.
Right.
You should have 2 12 batteries, and they would just convert to 240. You know, like a battery backup. You know, but I don't know in a boat how long it would last. It might last. I mean, when we put them on our telephone system at work, our telephone system used to run for about an hour. You could get an hour's worth of juice out of it because it was not drawing as much as, say, like if you put a kettle on it, it would wipe it out straight away. You know what I mean? It would just zap it. But so yeah, that was interesting. So I found a little bit out about that. That's I'm still going to take it apart. I've also stripped out the spaghetti mess of wiring that I found that had been done in there. That's got to be redone. I'm not happy with the wiring. It's all right. It all works and it's all fused and everything. And it's got a buzz bar in it, but it's like a little tiny pathetic buzz bar. It needs upgrading to a better system, which you're going to do anyway, because they're going to take those. I'm going to take those cupboards out that are down the bottom of the boat. And I will tell you quickly, because how long have we been going for? Yeah, we've been an hour nearly. So what we're doing in the bottom of that back of our boat, I don't know if anyone's seen many pictures of it, but it's actually got a rear cabin, which is a single bed. And in our bathroom, you then go through a centre door, which the doors, one opens that way and one opens that way. So you end up in a long, it's like a walk-through bathroom, but when you're going along, both toilets got a door on it, shower's got a door on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking out the door, this side, the cabin side. I'm going to put a fixed panel at an angle and put a side door in. So you'll walk through the toilet and through the centre door out the other side, where it will allow me to fit a cut-off corner 4-foot mattress bed. So we'll end up. Have you ever seen them in motorhomes when they have back mattresses and the corners are cut out where you put your feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to end up hopefully with a fixed 4-foot bed in the rear cabin in a 30-foot boat, and I think that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And it will not it won't take any of our saloon away at all. So it will actually make it a 4-berth boat. And
if it works.
Yeah.
It's going to work. I've measured it. It should work. You just got to take this wardrobe out, and I'm going to put some overbed cupboards in to take all the electrics. The only other weird thing was about our boat, and because is your square back, Dave, or round or
round?
It's square back, our boat. Yeah, the bedroom I've noticed slightly tapers in at the back.
That'd be swim.
It's where the swim is.
Underneath, of course it is. Yeah, it'll be where the swim is, won't it? Yeah, not a lot. It's about 2 inches to the back of the bedroom, so I'm going to have to squeeze the 4-foot mattress in a little bit to get it to go in. But there is someone that makes.
You might be able to build it up so it goes above swim.
Above the swim, yeah. I thought of that, but I didn't want to lose the space under the gunnel. You see what I mean? Because you're going to lose that space, which is probably 4 inches. I don't know. It's going to work. It's going to be a fixed bed 30-foot boat. Trust me. By the time I've finished, and then we'll have loads of storage underneath, so we won't need to worry about having a wardrobe in there.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and yet another canal adventure said, Glenn, will the toilet go in the walkthrough? Yes, it will. I've measured it, and you'll be able to walk past the toilet into the other bit. It will actually fit. And rather than having that door open, so there won't be open, there'll be the side door there, and you'll go for the middle door. That middle door you'll just basically keep shut, so it'll end up being a walk-through bathroom rather than a straight through at the moment. But we shouldn't lose any of the cabin. I shouldn't need to move anything that side, because it's really weird, because the toilet's bigger than the shower. And without the door being on the shower, it actually makes it a lot easier, because I stayed there a week. I was using the shower quite a bit, and I got so fed up with the door that was on the shower, I took it off. I just unscrewed it and used the shower curtain and and it was much easier. It was much more room. It was much easier to get in and out of the shower. It was much easier to get in and out of the room. You know, the room was just better. And the way I'm going to do it, it should end up with a slightly bigger bathroom, and I should be able to put a slightly bigger shower tray in. So watch this space.
What toilet are you having though? Is it a compost?
No. No, I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that road. I've got a choice. It's going to be either we'll either stick with a porta potty, or I'll raise it off the floor a little bit so it's a little bit higher, or I'll go for a cassette. But that, if we go for the cassette, it means that I'm going to have to change the oven to what you've got, Saul.
Right, yeah, the smaller one. Yeah.
So you've got a cupboard underneath, which I could then seal off and pull the cassette out of.
Oh, and you could raise your oven up.
Yeah, not enough though. The oven's too big. It would be like you'd be cooking like that. But your little oven, you'd end up with a cupboard. You'd end up with a cupboard that was big enough to pull a cassette out of.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would be my other option if I went down that road, or it would be putting a piece of wood to one side, but then that would make your toilet space very small. So I think I don't mind a porta potty. It's just, you know what I mean, it's even here, is it? What have you got in yours, Dave?
We've got a cassette.
You got a cassette toilet in yours, yeah? What, electric one?
It's got electric flush on it, yeah.
Yeah, same as what our old ones, C200 or whatever it is.
260, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they are. Yeah, but yet another canal adventure said build Lisa a cooking step.
Yeah,
yeah. You know, there's not enough headroom for that, unfortunately. But I like the what's narrow bow. Oh, I'm going to put that up there. Hang on a second. said about getting blacking off. I used a giant bladed scraper to get the blacking off on
that'll do it.
the line. It was dead easy. That might be an idea. I've got some of them. I've got some of them with blades in. You know the ones you buy with the blades?
Yeah.
Big ones. We bought them to do some prep work at work, and we've got like 4 of them, and we've got a pack of blades.
Yeah, they'll do the job.
That might do the job, mightn't it? Might give that a go. Thank you for that. Right. So that's what we're up to. Obviously, there's a lot going on. We went out for a couple of days in the month. We're hoping to get out again very shortly. I think we're taking some friends out Thursday just for the day. I have also cleaned out the engine bay again. I've given that a good clean out. Waiting to repaint that. And what else did I do? I did the well deck as well. Treated that and put some fake grass in it for now to look better.
Just going back to your anodes, Jeff. Glenn.
Yeah.
What when you bought the boat, was it hooked up to a landline before you bought it?
No, there's no. So, funny enough, someone said to me, "There's no hookup on it at the moment. The hookup's in the drawer in the saloon. He never got round to fitting it. It's in there, so it was never hooked up. He used to have a power lead with a plug on the end of it and plug it into the unplug the UPS thing and plug it straight into an extension lead. If he did use it, but it was all wrapped up and under the seat when we took the boat on." But someone said to me, if it was sitting next to a boat that was plugged in, that might be why one side's more rusty than the other, because apparently it can travel.
Yeah,
across
especially if the pontoons have got metal poles.
Oh, really?
It will. Yeah, it'll travel. If they wooden poles, you don't get that problem. But if it's metal, you'll get pitting on the side of a boat where the metal piling is. So it all attracts. It's all electricity and magnetism and all that.
Yeah. The weird thing is the side that was really green and exposed under a tree that's really bad, that's really oxidized the paintwork, is better than the other side. The other side on the waterline is the worst of the two, but it does give me hope, the fact that it's got the anodes look pretty good, that it weren't done that long ago, as in last time it was used, because it's got 4 anodes just on the front. I obviously had 2 that they're quite small, and then it's had another 2 fitted afterwards. So it must have had some bigger. It must have been out. I haven't seen the back yet. I haven't managed to see them. It's just the water level the water at the front was really clear the other day, and I looked down and I thought those anodes actually don't look too bad. You know what I mean? They're not disappeared. You know, when I've seen them when they really pretty much gone. But I run my hand over both of them. They were quite thick, probably, inch and a half maybe thick.
Yeah.
So probably get away with another couple of years on them.
Yeah, I know some people, when their anodes wear away, instead of grinding them off, they just weld new anodes side of them. Yeah. So that's why you might have more than.
But the others are not disappeared. They're not gone completely. But they're just obviously they obviously felt they needed replacing, because there was definitely an old set and a new set. You could tell the difference between the two at the front anyway. And I say I haven't seen the rear yet. I haven't felt the rear ones yet. So and it's sitting a lot better in the water now, because I've used a bit of diesel, and I've also filled up with finally managed to get the tank to empty of water, and I filled it up and it leveled up, and you could actually see the top of the rudder now. It actually came out of the water, whereas all the time before it'd been underwater, so it's sitting a little bit better than it was.
Yeah, ours changes quite a lot. You were surprised, weren't you, Saul, when we filled up with water?
Hell of a lot of water in that bowl.
It holds a lot of water.
Yeah, massive tank.
Is it?
Yeah, it drops front end. I mean, it were empty. And when we filled it up, it drops front at about 4 inches.
Really? That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can usually see by the water line as well, can't you?
Yeah.
But
when we were boating last weekend and we got virtually no water in tank and it were windy and it was just a pig to control. A lot harder.
Yeah. But yeah, ours was the same as that, obviously on a smaller scale. But it's got quite a big tank. Took quite a while to fill it. But the only thing I have got to do with the tank is it's been not finished. It's like it's not finished properly. The tank sits in the front of our well deck, which is quite small. There's a panel with a panel that comes down, and it's like a little storage locker, but right in the middle of it. It's made of wood, but you would never have known it. I thought it was metal. It's been finished really well, and it fits really well, and it's solid. And it's got 2 corners cut out of each side, but the water fills in there, and literally when it spills over, it just spills over into that locker and then runs down the sides. But I'm going to put a water filler on the top. I'm going to drill a hole in the front, put a proper water filler cap in, because I just want it to spill over the side, not inside the boat, not inside the well deck. I know the well deck's got runoffs, but the runoffs are not great on the well deck on that. They're quite lippy. They've got quite a lip on them. So it ends up where you end up with a load of water in the well deck in drying it out. So I'm going to put the water filler on the front, I think, right above where the thing is in the front. I'm just going to put one up to the side and just fill it up from there. There's no reason not to have it up there, is there? I mean, there'd be no problem. No. So, but apart from that, I've got loads more things to do, and it's always, it's not always an ongoing project. But we have been rabbiting on for an hour and 15 minutes.
Don't time fly.
It's not flying when you're having fun. So I'm going to wrap it up and say thank you to everybody that commented. There was quite a few of our old friends, and there's especially Dale, who's obviously retired, got nothing better to do. Yeah. And all I want to do is say thanks for Chili Jam Jeff, and thanks for supplying everyone with Chili Jam Jeff. Everyone's been giving it a go, and thanks for coming on tonight. I know you weren't feeling, you look a lot better than you did, so I'm glad you came.
You're getting there.
Yeah, you'll be fine, mate. And, I want to thank Dave from Narrowbait Chase and from Barely Floating, and we will see you all next month, and I'll let you know how my blacking goes. And so thanks everyone, and I'll catch you soon. See you later. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.